Hello everyone, in this video I'll be covering the best mods in Baldur's Gate 3's mod manager for both console and PC. So console mods got dropped this week and we already have 75 mods on console, and both of them are shared between Xbox and PlayStation 5. There's been a lot of people commenting saying PlayStation 5 has gotten less mods, but there are mods with external assets on PlayStation. I just want to clear the air on that, but I'll be covering all the best mods, my favorite ones, and going through everything that's on console, as well as all the mods that are on PC that I really enjoy using. I've tried hundreds and hundreds of mods now, so I think I just want to highlight here the Cheater's Ring here first and foremost, because this ring is incredible. It gives you a Misty Step that you can teleport around, so early game you can get some freedom of movement to go anywhere you want. You can see invisible creatures, you can create a huge water puddle, speak with the dead. Everything's all handled through the Cheater's Ring. But another thing I want to mention is put your game into turn-based mode, and then you can summon in an armor chest. So when you do this, you get a spell that'll allow you to get any armor in the game. So if you're looking to make a specific build right at the start of the game, this is the way to do it. So you can see here the Cheater's Ring armor box has all the hats, all the armor, all the gloves, all the boots, you name it, cloaks, shields, etc. So if you want a specific build just from the start, or you're tired of going really long lengths to get anything, or you're a Dark Urge that wants the armor of persistence, you can do it all through this. So yeah, this is obviously for people that want to play a bit of a cheat game playthrough, but if you beat the game already, you know what it takes, and you have the freedom to do whatever you want with that. So it has all the armor, all of the weapons, and all of the jewelry there. Be sure to put it into turn-based mode, because otherwise you may end up crashing your game whenever the chest disappears. You can also get unlimited Mind Flayer parasites. You can summon in the tutorial chest, which is also really useful, because with this, some mods will actually put the items right into the tutorial chest, so this cuts it down, and you can just go ahead here. Things like on PC, we have in the mod manager Guts Greatsword from Berserk, so you can literally just drop that in. We also have Dante's Devil Sword from Devil May Cry, so you can give your entire team all these cool weapons. We even got things like Keyblades, and even going a step further, we have some pretty cool mods here that I want to touch on, because I'm a big Bloodborne fan, and if you played Bloodborne, you'll know that we have not gotten any updates for any new games for PlayStation, so this is kind of the Bloodborne 2.5, or 1.5 I should say. And yeah, this mod's incredible, because it gives you the ability to wear, I guess it's not really working properly here, but with this mod you can take the Bloodborne armor, and it's really cool looking. So just want to touch on that briefly, but the tutorial chest has a bunch of cool modded items added to it. And if you got a bunch of things like these Scantly camp outfits, series gear, like you can even dress your character in a series outfit, so that's a cool one. It looks great on Shadowheart there. For some reason it's not letting me drag them, but you get the deal. A lot of mods, and if you want to spawn in another Cheater's Ring, it's just right there. So just had to highlight this mod because there's so much cool stuff going on in it. However, looking into the mods on console, there's a lot so far. So some of my favorite ones, all camp clothes and dyes from the start, self-explanatory. Being able to wear the Angelic Scion from the beginning is really nice. Imp UI, that's just a given. You need this for a lot of mods. Cheater's Ring, very popular, just went over it. Adjustable party limit size. This one's great because you can play through the game with every single companion in your party. And what's nice about that is you get the ability to get a bunch of extra banter that you normally would not get. So I love that mod for that reason. Hair unlocked and favoring colors, great for customization. They do exactly as they say. I use these ones very commonly. Become a vampire. Now there's a mod that I prefer a bit more called the Vampire Origin, which you start as a Dark Urge or normal Tav Origin, but you're also a vampire with a bunch of different effects. This one's interesting because it gives you a potion that gives you the vampire effects, so you can get it from the tutorial chest as I just showed you how to. We also got ourselves a Lydia's head, so we got head in Baldur's Gate 3. What's nice about this is this opens up the floodgates for more mods being added to Baldur's Gate 3 using external assets. I know a lot of people have been asking about Evelyn's head, and yeah, we got a lot of them here. This is the Seraphina head. Not my most favorite one, but it's nice to see, and I think it works better on like human or even just half elves. I'm playing as a drow here. I like to go with my Minerva head. This is from, unfortunately, Nexus mod, so it's on the mod manager, but there's mods that let you use like Shadowheart's face, Minthara's face, Jahera's face, Kaga, Floric, Viconia's face, so a lot of freedom of customization there, and I think that that's incredible. Unlock level curve. This is another one's huge because some mods like the Mystic have builds that go up to like level 14 with new effects, so you can take this and it allows you to go all the way up to level 20. You want to take a double XP mod, or else you won't hit the max level. Spellblade School, I just did a build on this yesterday, so you can check that out. Really fun class. Not broken overpowered. It's pretty defensive, but also you can cast an attack with a weapon, and you can benefit your weapon really well early on in the game. Gale's Wizardly Updo, so this is a fun one. A lot of people really like giving Gale this haircut, so that's something that you can go with. And this is what it looks like here, so just to give us a little bit of a view. Oh, that's what it looks like on Gale. So yeah, it's a decent hair mod. I know some people really like the hair mods, so that's one that's pretty fun. Kay's hair mod, speaking of it, more external assets, great for the future. Better targets info, like all of these mods that are near the top of the most downloaded, makes sense why they're there. I like the better target info. You can see which enemies are weak to what whenever you click on them. So if you're looking at like Minsk here, he has this armor that gives him a vulnerability or a resistance to both fire and cold damage, but also I have the Resonant Stone giving a vulnerability to psychic damage. So you can see there at a glance the effects of that, which is really nice. Weightless consumables, that just makes sense. I like the mod that just increases your weight capacity to near infinite. Secret Scrolls, this is a cool one. So this gives you the ability to get things like Shield and Fire Strike as a scroll. Inspiration is uncapped. I had a lot of people asking about this one. So normally you can only get 4 inspiration. With this you can get more. Medusa's hair, another awesome hair mod. Visible Shields, this is a cool one because in the game you normally will see your shield on your arm but not on your back. So with this mod, you can see there you just have the shields visible at all times. This can cause some issues whenever you're playing, so just be mindful that it may cause some visual issues in cutscenes, but it's a pretty cool mod overall. We also got ourselves the Underwear of Rituals. This is a fun one that just adds a bunch of ritual spells like Speak with the Dead, Speak with Animals to underwear, so you can always just prepare them at any time. Mystic Expanded adds a bunch to the Mystic class. Origin Feats gives level 2 feats to all classes. Normal half Illithid, this one awesome, just removes the Illithid appearances. NPC's hairs, went over that one previously. Paladins have gods. This is great because it's kind of similar to Cleric. You can now worship a god and become a Paladin of Tyr or a Paladin of Mystra, etc. Carry weight extra, love this one. You can carry infinite amounts of goods. Containers extended, a lot of people are asking about this one. This one is kind of glitched at the moment. There is a mod that fixes it, but it doesn't currently work, so just be mindful of that. Celestial Warlock, a healing focused warlock. Bunch of die mods. My favorite being the Underdark dice. D&D 5 our spell edition. So this adds different spells to different classes. So like the Bard will get some different spells like Command that they normally wouldn't get. Bag of Holding. If you're a D&D fan, you'll know the Bag of Holding. This is a iconic bag. Playable Kuato. A lot of people love this one. It is glitched whenever you're creating the character. It'll show the clothing of whatever class you're picking inside of it. So just be mindful of that. NPC outfits and inspired dyes. That's a really great mod. Just giving you options to give yourself a bunch of different clothing options and dyes that'll affect it a little bit differently than normal. So that is nice as well. Better top bar, touched on that. Kate's mods are all great. So this one makes it so that you can see at a glance what's affecting who in combat and allow you to see more enemies in combat. So that's nice. Better dying, same deal. Fireproof Carlock, makes her immune to fire damage, just makes sense. P4 hairs, this one's great for just customization, P4 eye colors as well. So both of these go together to give you a bunch of customization. We also have the Warlock Remembrance. It's a fun one, giving you the magical secrets at level 6 and 10. Other than that, it basically functions like a normal Warlock, getting your spell slots back at short rest. Origin dialogue tags. Highly recommend this if you're going to play an Origin class. And I would recommend playing as Gale Origin because Gale gets a bunch of extra content and it's really fun to go through that. You also get Terra at your camp. Also recommend a Carlock Origin playthrough because Carlock talks to herself a bunch, so she has some cool dialogue that you wouldn't get unless you play as her. And I also recommend giving Will a shot. Not a lot of people like Will because he's not the most interesting character, but when you play as a character, you don't get their dialogue. So Will is a perfect character to go as a good character. He's the most well-aligned to the story of Baldur's Gate 3. I know a lot of people like to hate on Will, but he's the Blade of Frontiers. It makes sense. His story aligns well with the Baldur's Gate 3 story. And if you go evil, you have to kill Carlock anyways to go evil, so you don't lose anything. He's kind of the best main character of the Origins. However, I prefer Gale myself. Gale Beard Fix. This is never had issues with it myself, but for console users, this works well. And Dragonborn Scales gives you a bunch of different customization. And then all the dice mods, which people are complaining about, but hey, it's better than nothing. I think the dice mods are good, but they're the easiest thing to test, and that's what I wanted to touch on, is die mods don't take too long for them to test and get approved, so that's why we see a good amount of them now. But there will be more mods obviously along here coming, and if you have questions about that, I do know that there is some things like the Artificer mod. So some of the most popular class mods will be working their way here. So if we look at class mods, the Artificer, I know for fact, is getting made. The Oakheart Sentinel, one of my favorite classes, is being made over. The Blood Mage is also being ported over. The Witch class, the creator of that, awesome person. They comment on my videos. This is being posted to the consoles soon. Mindweaver as well is going to be making its way over from what I've heard. So a lot of these here that you can see. I don't think the Demon Hunter will make its way since this is using World of Warcraft assets. So yeah, pretty much everything you can see here will likely make its way over if the creator has posted it to have it ported to console. But a good number of those that I did mention have already gotten that put over. But I want to touch on some of the classes here because I have 33 classes installed and over 100 subclasses. So you can see here, I got a lot of them. Most, like I would say 90% of these all come from the in-game mod manager. There are a couple like the Keyblade Master that I did get from Nexus Mods, but there's some really great ones here that I just want to briefly touch on because I think the creators did a really good job with putting these together. So the Mystic class, this is available on console. It has it has 63 disciplines. This one's the most fleshed out class I've ever seen. It's more fleshed out than all the base game classes. Dark Ranger being a cool combination between the Ranger, giving us necrotic damage spells, but similar subclasses. Death Knight, this is also a World of Warcraft class. This is from Nexus Mods as well, so I won't touch too much on that, but 3 distinct subclasses, Blood Frost and Unholy. It's hopefully being made over to the in-game mod manager, much like the other Demon Hunter class was. Artificer, I have 2 versions of this. This is the Nexus Mods version. The Witch class, very great. 4 subclasses, Frost, Hex, Herbalist, and the Witchblade, so got a lot of fun there. It's like a wizard, but I don't know if I'd say as strong as a wizard. It's a nice flair, definitely different. We also got the Blood Mage. This one has 3 subclasses, Blood Knight, Blood Magus, Blood Reaver. Not powerful, honestly, but it's fun. It's a good challenge. I like the Blood Sorcerer myself, but I'll touch on that in a moment. I love the Mindweaver. This is an incredible class, having 4 subclasses, Psionic Warden, Force Blade, my favorite, the Astral Seer, because it gets like a Cone of Cold and psychic damage. You get a Fireball that deals psychic damage. And the Void Reaver being another cool dual-wielding class. So, yeah, highly recommend this. It'll be coming to consoles soon. Slayer's another class, combining both the Ranger and the Rogue to give us something unique. Favorite Soul, it's a spellcaster, kind of like a Paladin Cleric mix. Psionicist is a kind of like a Bard Psychic mix. Priest, this is a World of Warcraft class as well. You cast spells to get more resources to cast stronger spells, which is a cool mechanic. Harlequin, combination between a Bard and a Rogue. I think this is a funky one. Keyblade Master, again, this one comes from Nexus Mods. Hopefully it gets made over, potentially. Comes with all those weapons I showed off previously. We got the Kanala as well, and the Scrounger. Both these are really well done. The Scrounger you can turn into this big Bile Titan and shoot at people. You also fabricate your own items and grenades and stuff, which is cool. The Vanguard, there's 2 versions of this. This one is more so the weapon-focused one, and then we have the Arcane Vanguard here, which is more so focused on spell casting. We have a bunch of spells there. It gets a fighting style, and there's 4 unique ones, and then you have 4 subclasses: the Eldritch Vanguard, Judgment Vanguard, Sentinel, and the Arcane Dervish. Really well done class, and I'm excited to see more of these pop up. The Accursed, this is a cool one. It uses curses on the enemy and curses themselves. Artificer. Now, this is the one that will be coming soon to console, and it's got 4 unique subclasses. Battlesmith getting a summon, Artillerist being more so focused on shooting a weapon, Armorer focused on being very tanky, and then we also got the Alchemist here, which is another really cool subclass. Love this one. It's a whole lot of fun. The Viper, 2-handed weapon fighting. It's a cool class. I'll be doing a build on it soon. Blood King, getting a cool subclass here, the Blood Warrior. This is like a necrotic paladin almost, and the Godslayer, very strong, giving your strength and constitution checks, or strength and constitution modifier to armor class. Demon Hunter, I've done a build on this. Very, very powerful class, based on World of Warcraft, and you can zip around dealing a ton of damage. You get 3 actions. It's overpowered, but it's fun. Dragon Knight comes with 4 or 5 subclasses: the Caustic, Flame, Frost, Rot, and Storm Knights. Very cool subclass. I think this one is very well done as well. It does give me some glitches from time to time, so that's one thing. The Reaper, this is one that a lot of people have been talking about, and I just updated this mod because it was having some issues, but you get like a, you use like scythes to attack, and you get a bunch of different abilities. Like you can choose your god there, like Bual, etc. Yeah, this is a fun one, the Reaper. Phoenix Bearer, focusing mostly on fire casting, but I do have a Sorcerer subclass that's very similar, so if you're a fan of Sorcerer like myself, there is a Phoenix Soul, but I'll get to that in a moment. Just got to go through the rest of these here. The Ill Rigger, which uses different baleful seals to deal extra damage to targets. This is one that a lot of people are looking forward to playing as, so I just want to touch on that. The Overpowered Sentinel, this is another one that's really cool. Love the creator of this one. They did a great job with it. Their mod maker unfortunately crashed. They just commented on my video yesterday saying their mod maker crashed, so they're working on a brand new version of this, as well as another class that they're working on. So 3 distinct subclasses. This one's very well fleshed out. It's basically a druid, but you're a melee class, and you get a ranger's companion. It's strong, but not brokenly overpowered, and you get a lot of summons, which I'm a big fan of. Mystic Blade, this one is a add strength and dexterity modifier to armor class. It's like a melee class, but you do get spells later on. Demigod, very interesting, giving yourself the hair of Zeus, Hades, Aphrodite, Ares, and just recently added the hair of Artemis, so they're adding new subclasses to this at all times. It's a really cool one because you get spells, you get weapon attacks, and you get different amounts of spells depending on what deity you chose. Nephilism, this is a cool one, giving a bunch of different it's basically focused on like Devil May Cry. You get a bunch of extra attack actions. Being a half-breed demon, you dedicate your life to hunting devils. Mage Seeker, this is a cool one, so you get a few different attacks like Mana Leak and Arcane Overlord and Static Sever. So it silences targets. This is basically used to take down mages, as the name implies. It's a Mage Seeker. Very cool subclass, just got added very recently. And finally, I'll touch on the Ninja class here and then get into some subclasses I really like in the mod manager. This allows you to add like fire and ice to your attacks using chakra infusements. If you're a fan of Naruto, this one's for you. Believe it, it's a great one. Now, getting into some classes or subclasses, I just recently did a build on the Wizard subclass. There's the Blade Singer and the Spell Blade. So both of these very strong. Spell Blade being more defensive, the Blade Singer being more offensive. Really love this class. I think it's a well done one. And yeah, the Warlock also gets a lot of really cool cool selections. So we have the Celestial, which is in the in-game mod manager already, giving you healing spells and radiant damage. The Remembrance, as I mentioned, gives you the magical secrets. This one's currently on console. The Undead, focused on having a patron here with cool icons like you look at there. Vampire Lord, Archlich, Spectre, Nightwalker, Greater Mummy, and Grave-Touched Ghoul. There's a lot of cool ones here. I think this is really well done. We also have the Dread Overlord being my favorite Warlock subclass ever. Very cool. You can add necrotic damage to your weapons. You can reclaim undead. You get a summon spirit dog. You can summon in little claws. You can summon in a giant skeleton. You can summon in a warlock skeleton that shoots scorching rays. It's really cool. And then you can also summon a bone dragon at higher levels. This is a very well done one. And the Hexblade is some people's favorite. This can apply a different type of hex which heals you. You deal extra damage to them, and it doesn't require you to use your spell slots. So this is a very powerful subclass. Not broken strong, but very fun. Now for the Sorcerer, my favorite class in the game, Divine Soul, being focused on giving you healing spells. What's nice about the Divine Soul is you also get the ability to get cleric spells. So you can take things like Planar Ally and Guardian of Faith and a bunch of different ones. So very fun subclass. The Phoenix Soul, giving you extra fire damage. You heal when you deal fire. You can also rebirth yourself in a Phoenix Egg. So with doing that, you get the effects of a long rest. You can do it in combat, but it's risky because you have 1 health point when you're doing it. But you can do it outside of combat. Very effective, getting yourself your spell slots back. Voidborn, being focused on like being like from the Dread and dealing like force damage. You're almost like an astral plane sorcerer. And then the Blood Sorcerer. I really like this one as well. You deal extra damage when you have bleed affected on enemies. So you can see there we got a bunch of blood spells. Also, you can do what's cool is create a bunch of pools of blood and then pull enemies into them and keep them there. I think this was a really great subclass. So highly recommend it. The Rogue has a few different subclasses, which I'll touch on. I think I can only get the Pirate and the Swashbuckler to appear right now because when you have multiple ones installed, sometimes it hides other ones. So we get the Pirate and the Swashbuckler, but there's the Origami. There's a bunch of Rogue subclasses, not to get too into it. The Ranger has the Horizon Walker, which I think is a really cool subclass. So we'll just briefly go through and show this off. And Webbing Strike. We have a bunch of 5e spells on this too. So 5e spells is coming to console soon. It's on the in-game mod manager, and I use a different version from Nexus mods, but they're all great. The Drake Warden, being a cool one, allows you to summon in a dragon companion, and you can choose a dragon's damage type. Super cool. Horizon Walker, however, this is a very fun one. You get the Planar Warrior. You can zip your way around the battlefield, kind of like Misty Stepping, but it counts as like an extra action you can do in addition to an attack. So you can do an attack, zip around, attack. and it doesn't use your bonus action, which is really nice. So I'm a big fan of that. Paladin has the Oath of Conquest by Havsglint, really well done mod. It's like another version of an offensive version of the Vengeance. You can add +10 to your attack rolls. Like, you got a lot of benefits in this subclass. Monk, Fighter, Barbarian, I'll have a bunch of them. The Druid, which I'll show off next, has a Circle of Stars, also made by Havsglint. This allows you to turn into your starry astral form, and then also has the ability to summon a conjured map, which gives you a bunch of different benefits as well. Super cool class. Cleric has the Death Domain. I just saw a Forge Domain, but I couldn't get to work currently right now. But yeah, the Cleric has a bunch of them being added eventually, because there's a lot of Cleric subclasses. I guess I'll show off the Bard next, because the Bard gets some pretty fun ones as well, getting a bunch of different spells. But also, we get ourselves like the College of Glamour Bard, the College of Dance, the College of Eloquence, the College of Friendship. So this is like, you get the Ranger's Companion, but you also get Summon Undeads. Glamour is mostly about like buffing. There really a lot of them are about buffing. The Sword Bard being obviously the strongest of these. So if you're looking for something a little bit more powerful, this ain't it. I honestly think the Sword Bard is probably one of the best classes in Dungeons and Dragons, especially Baldur's Gate 3. So if you're looking for something a bit more powerful, you might be disappointed because it is already as strong as it gets. Now, the Barbarian does get a few different subclasses, much like the Fighter, and I'll also show off the Monk because they get some cool ones I just want to touch on. Battle Rager, using your body to attack with piercing damage. The Giant Barbarian, you can turn into a giant. Storm Herald, you'd have auras like the Sea Aura, which adds lightning damage to yourself and your teammates' weapon attacks. And then we also like the Tundra and the Desert, adding fire or adding healing to your attacks. We also have the Zealot, which allows us to get a you can heal. You can choose a deity as well. So if you want to be like a Mistra or whatever, you get to choose that. So really cool subclasses. I also think that the Fighter gets a lot of really great ones, which we'll touch on. Things like the Samurai, which a lot of people are a big fan of. This isn't, unfortunately, in the mod manager. Just wanted to touch on it briefly, because there is one that is. The Arcane Archer is very cool, giving us options of like different types of arrows. Very fun. The Banneret, Purple Dragon Knight, being a buffer class, kind of sucks in comparison, because the Fighter's so good. Psy Warrior, focusing on psychic attacks and getting its own Psy dice. Rune Knight, a lot of people really like the Rune Knight. You can use runes to empower yourself. Samurai, having different stances, and you can fight. You get the Fighting Spirit. And then this one is in the mod manager, the Shield Master. So this gives you ability to attack with a shield and a bunch of different benefits related to that. I'll now briefly touch on the Monk, and then we'll go into some customization options that are available and coming soon to console, because there's a lot of great ones. If you want to make your character look like this, I'll show you how. This hairstyle is unfortunately on Nexus mods. But we have the Astral Self, giving us extra punching arms that deal force damage. We have the Kensei Monk, which is a monk that attacks with weapons. Way of the Long Death does some cool effects, and you can deal frightened in a huge area of effect. And then the Way of the Sun Soul is a radiant damage focused monk. So those are some pretty cool subclasses I just want to briefly touch on. And now I'll show off some customization. I also have a movement mod that makes me move fast, and a bunch of different UI mods. I'll briefly touch on those and just go over what I think works best. So I currently have a mod right now, Vampirion's Head mods from Nexus mods, but there's a lot of face mods being added. This one was just added to console, so this shows that we will get some external faces in console. Mods that adds the character faces as well are pretty cool. I like the hairstyle mods that add a bunch of things, like you can add bangs to your character if you want a little bit extra flair going on there. So those are cool, and then also ones that add like extra long hair. Does glitch out with certain hairstyles, so just be mindful of that. But you can see there's a ton of different options. There's body art mods, eye color mods. I like these ones because there's so many cool ones you can see there. Like, you can give yourself some very bright blue eyes that aren't available in the base game. You can give yourself many different colors. So yeah, I'll just briefly go through that. Makeup, there's some makeup mods. The bunch of hair mods, I really like a few number of these. These are the simple hairstyle mods in Nexus mod, or in the mod manager. This is Tab's Hair Salon from Nexus mods. Unfortunately, not in the base game yet, but potentially someone will make something similar to this, not the exact same. I like the fairy hairstyle. I'm using that there. This is in Nexus mods, unfortunately, as well. And then we got the ability to add like Shadowheart's hair to our character, which is super cool, and then really any other character's hairstyle. Lots of freedom of creativity and expression here, and then Kay's hairstyle is also being really great too. And then we got, I guess I'll show one off. I like this one here. Then we also got facial hair mods, giving us like the genie's beard and WizBiz. Like, there's a bunch of different ones that normally aren't in the game. This was just added to the mod manager recently. So a lot of freedom of creativity and expression there, and I just want to touch on that, but I'll just go briefly through the mod manager itself now. So you can see some of the top trending mods right now are ones that just got added to console, like Lydia's Head Seraphina there. But we got a lot of great mods. I like the subclass mods and class mods the most because there's so many of them. As you saw, I have like 30 of them, but just a brief overview. These are likely all going to be coming to console, so just wait, it'll be coming. There's lots of great ones to be added, so yeah, these are the most downloaded ones that I'm showing off here. There's even things that add new feats like the Gestalt there. A lot of people are talking about that. The Viper, which is from, like, I guess the Viper is from Final Fantasy, so pretty cool. There's a lot of inspiration mods here, but yeah, the class and subclasses are great, but there's also a lot of customization. Like, you can give yourself a bunch of different looks. Like, if you want a busty body, there's that mod. So some people may enjoy that. We also have a bunch of different head mods that will be added, so that's cool too. And then there's outfits that come from, like, Final Fantasy has a bunch of outfits that got added. Wings Unlocked, this is a cool mod. It gives you the ability to add wings to your character depending on what you want. So that's a fun one. There's also the more beards, which I touched on. So lots of customization and creativity is getting added pretty much hourly to the mod manager. And yeah, I think that this is great because it just gives you the ability to play the game exactly how you want. So we'll see definitely more coming. Like, even the ability to apply dyes to your shields, which is so cool with the amount of shields that are getting added to the game. This is incredible. Dice mods up everywhere. Quality of life, mostly dominated by Kate. They did a great job of making a bunch of these. But there's even mods that like allow Alfira to join the party without having to use any glitches or exploits. Facial animations, like if you notice at the very start of this video, my character was making a bunch of faces. This is a cool mod. Love that one. So yeah, quality of life and different mods like this. Don't attack the ground. Love that mod. Super effective. I'll just briefly go through my full mod list. You can pause this if you want, so I'll just drag it down a little bit. You can look at them, drag it down even further. I have 200 mods installed, and it's hard to keep up with updating them all because I literally updated them before this video, and we already got a bunch more. So yeah, there's a lot of mods in this game, and many more coming. So if you're looking for any type of mod in particular, just leave a comment because I'm covering these all. I've downloaded hundreds. Like, the ones that I have are the ones that pass the test. I don't keep every single mod that I download. I test it, make sure I like it. So yeah, of these, I found 200 now that I love. And I just want to share the love with anyone. So if you have any questions around them, feel free to leave a comment. I try to get back to every single comment. I've been getting a lot more lately, so I do my best. But yeah, hit that subscribe button below for future video updates. I appreciate any and all the support, guys. You're the best. I'll see you all in the next video, and have a great day.